Hey guys, Rexasaur here and welcome to Patch Notes on the 17th of June 2025. It is a Tuesday. It is also Richard's birthday. Happy birthday. Anyway, the important things come to the side. It's been a week, as it usually has been. It was a very jam-packed week where I did 3 days of Warhammer in a row. Amongst other things. So last week we started on Tuesday where we went to go see the new How to Train Your Dragon movie, which is just a live action reimagining of the first animated movie. It was very good, and I understand there is some bias in that because I very much enjoyed that series. It certainly had its charm. It certainly was a very faithful live action remastering of it effectively. There were some subtle changes here and there, definitely all for the better. However, there was also some aspects that they left out, so they lines that were not reused, moments that were not shared again, which was a little bit, I don't want to say disappointing, but it definitely, for someone who really, really enjoys the original, it felt like the story, I don't want to say it removed from the story, but I don't know, they're just little things that definitely have their place within the story, and the removal of that was a little bit disappointing, I guess. We also, overall, the casting choices were good, except for the casting of Nick Frost, which... It's not because he's a terrible actor and because he portrayed the character terribly. I just think there were better choices out there. He didn't really showcase that the character he was playing very well, or at least not in the way that, very much not in the way that it was in the animated. And a lot of it was lost, I guess, in the casting choice. So that was unfortunate, and I think that was why it wasn't as... I feel like if the casting for that character had been better, I feel like the overall enjoyment would have been extraordinarily more. So rather than it being the 10 out of 10 that I think, not that we were expecting, but hoping, it was more of a very solid 8, which is still a very good score, but it definitely, there were some things that maybe were lacking, but overall, the animation was very good, the CG was very good, the music was phenomenal as usual. So yeah, worth seeing if you're a fan. If you've never seen How to Train Your Dragon, then the live action is definitely a good one to go see, the live action. But beyond that, yeah, nothing extraordinary. It's definitely not genre defining, but it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. Yeah. Also, Gerard Butler just absolutely destroying his role, doing amazing. I think he was definitely the best part of the film, to be fair, by far. Anyway, that happened on Tuesday. We also went to, so mine and Hannah's favourite burger place shut down a few months ago at this point, Grazing Shed, but they've reopened-ish as part of a brewery in town, Mad Dog Brewery it's called, and so those burgers are still alive. So we went there before the movie, and indeed the burgers are still good. The menu is severely limited, definitely not to the variation that it was previously, but the same very deliciousness, and the burger sauce is just really good, so that was fun too. Then on Wednesday, went to the pub quiz with only Andrew and Mills this time. The others were either away or ill, so it was just us four. We did terribly. We managed to get some good scores here and there, but the music round absolutely destroyed us, and that's where we lost most of our points, basically. And then there were a few things that we just didn't know. Oh yeah, there was just a lot of things that we didn't really know. So hopefully this Wednesday we'll do better, but we'll see. And then Thursday, Warhammer. Did a Horus Heresy game against Matt. It was a 2,500 point game, which is the biggest I've played in Horus Heresy. Very, very fun. Much closer game than I've had so far. His speed and mobility really worked to his advantage, but in the end I managed to overcome that, and I got some really lucky rolls near the end, and he got some very unlucky rolls for quite a bit of it, and basically he wasn't able to finish off like 2 units at one point, and those units managed to score points the following turn, so it was very much a lucky break for me there. But that was basically the game. It was really, really fun. I really enjoyed that. And then Friday, I went to my Renegades Club Might, which is just regular 40k. I played against one of the people there who I really get along well with. He's such a great guy. And we played a mirror match. He was playing Custodians as well. And I did lose that one, but it was my first time playing 40k with a new mission pack. And as a full 2,000 point force and using the detachment I was using, so I wasn't expecting to win, but I learnt a lot, and there were some really, really interesting moments where both of us really didn't know the outcome or the right thing to do. So for both of us it was a really good learning experience of certain situations you find yourself in. What is the right choice, what is the right ability to use, the right stratagem to use and stuff like that. And I feel like it was really, really helpful for me doing a mirror match was really, really helpful for me actually, because it meant I got to see how to play the army I was playing with a detachment I was playing, so that I can take that going forward and understand what's good, what's wrong. And I've made some adjustments to my list already after that one game of what I know won't work and what will. Which is a shame. So I had a dreadnought in that battle and it did nothing effectively. It was just a targeting computer, just a big old red dot to shoot at. So he's been removed, which is interesting because in Heresy dreadnoughts are just really good. So it's a bit of a shame that it's not quite comparable here. There was also a moment where I had to roll, I think it was 27 4-up saves, so if you roll a 4, 5 or 6 you negate the damage. I had to roll 27 and I rolled 25 4-ups. It was insane. So that it didn't turn the battle in my favour, but it definitely held him off for an ever turn. Yeah, ridiculous. So that was that anyway. Yeah, really, really fun game. So on Friday I'm going back with this updated army. I have a tournament in July that I want to be taking part in, so that's why I'm going to be focusing on 40k more so than Horus Heresy over the next few weeks because of that. But yeah, that was really good fun. And then Saturday all day we did a Old World a-thon. There were 6 of us in total, so I think we played 4 games overall. Which was really good. The list that I bought is 500 points, so you're very limited to what you bring, but the list I bought was very fun to play. I went 2-2. I got absolutely destroyed in the first game by a shooty army, which is always difficult to go up against chaos, especially when it's dwarves, which are very hardy as well. So when you get into combat after getting shot at, they're very difficult to get through. But I managed to get through 2 of the games. Second one against dwarves, and then the other against elves, and then I lost against Bretonia. Pegasus Knights flying in my back line really destroyed me there, and then the first dwarf game, the shooty game. But overall everyone seemed to have a really good time. I think next month we're going to be doing a slightly higher pointage. We might be doing 750 maybe, not entirely sure, but otherwise really, really fun, really enjoyed. And then in Old World there's a lot of excitement at the moment because Cathay have been announced to be on pre-orders this coming weekend, which is significantly sooner than anyone was expecting because Beast Moon were only released last week and 2 weeks before that Wood Elves, so they've released 3 factions in 6 weeks, which is unheard of. But I think they really want to push through things because there's a lot of cool things coming. Yeah, it's really, really fun. So a lot of excitement there, completely new faction being released for the first time. In Old World for 15 years, but in Warhammer it's also a very rare occurrence when a completely new faction gets released. We did have for 40k Emperor's Children to get released ish. They're like they're a sub faction and now a standalone faction, but this is a completely new from the bottom up written faction. So very, very cool. And yeah, so that happened on Saturday. That was a lot of fun. And then Sunday did some D&D. Continued the trek through the Treasure Island. They had a boss fight which went really well. There was they got to understand abilities, and this thing has a lot of really cool abilities, legendary actions, legendary resistances, which he didn't actually use because they didn't really use a lot of spells that affected that, but and he succeeded a bunch of the ones that did. But yeah, really, really strong thing, which they managed to get through. I got to use really cool layer actions as well. But they managed to get through, and then they had a really cool escape, and yeah, it was just really cinematic. And now they are nearing the final third of the story that I've laid out. So they should be done within the next 2 sessions or so, I think. And then we can move back onto the main quest line, but really, really cool stuff. And then that was Sunday, and then Monday, yesterday, had other D&D. It was an incredibly fun session. Really enjoyed it. It was a shame that one of our players wasn't there for it, because I feel like their character type, which is a paladin of the ancients, would really have benefited in this area. But yeah, they had a really cool, they finished off a fight. They suffered some significant damage in the process, had to do a short rest. Then they travelled through this land, and then they encountered a character, an NPC, who then told them a little bit more of what was happening. But it was atmospheric. They were all very, very much on their toes, not really knowing what's going on really, and kind of making judgments based on the information they have, which in this instance weren't completely correct. So it was interesting when they were like, oh god, we're gonna have to fight this thing, and then having that expectation subverted and being like, oh okay, this is actually what's happening, this is what we need to do. So yeah, that was really, really fun. I'm looking forward to next week, where we're gonna continue with that as well. So at the moment, D&D going really well. Really enjoying the stories I've written. I feel like my Monday crew currently are in a story that I've written that I think is probably the best D&D storyline that I've written. At least the self-contained bit. It very much feels like they're in the world. If you feel like the story is not quite Witcher 3, but this is the barren storyline of Witcher 3. It's the really niche, really, really good bit within the a total of a really fun story overall. This is a really, I'm really into this. I'm really enjoying what's happening. I'm really enjoying my players' reactions to it. And they're not that far into the story in itself. But yeah, they're slowly going to piece it together, I'm sure. And there's going to be some really cool stuff. This is going to be, it's quite, I don't want to say lengthy storyline, because I don't plan it to be. But it's an island defining, since they are on an island. So there's a lot of things happening, and this is one of the big events that I had set out for them to deal with when I started this season. But yeah, and I hope that translates to the players as well. Both campaigns. I hope that you're enjoying the stories that I've put together, because I've really enjoyed putting them together. And we'll see what happens going forward. Beyond that, video game wise, I've actually been playing a lot of Panzer 2. I don't know why. I wanted to play a turn-based thing, and I really want to play Xenonauts 2, but they're not finished yet, and I don't want to play it until the game is finished, which isn't that far away. It's just, it's not done yet. So I want to play a turn-based thing. I tried Mechanicum, I think that's what it's called. Dark Mechanicum? I can't remember. The Warhammer 40,000 Necrons versus Mechanicus. I think it's just called Mechanicus. It's the third time I'm trying to get it into it, and I just can't. I don't know why. It's just too gamey, if that makes sense. I really like XCOM because it's very simple in what it shows. Each character has a specific type, and as a class, basically, with very specific abilities, but overall the gameplay for each of them is effectively the same with small variation based on those abilities. Whereas here, it just feels like... So, I mean, I'm right at the beginning, so I know it's just a beginning thing, but each of the characters have, like, not enough and too many abilities at the same time. There's like 2 different variations of damage type, but they seem to be doing the exact same thing. There's like different types of classes where you've got like your main heroes that actually carry on, and then you've got warriors that don't really do anything. Yeah, I don't know, it just feels really, really strange. And it feels like the events that happen between the battles are just like completely random, and it's like, oh, do you want to do this, this, or this? But there's no indication of what that means. And it's like, effectively, it's like you come into a room, there's some arcane technology, what do? You gotta destroy it, like purge it, take it, study it. And it's like, well, what's the difference between these things? And then it's like, oh, I pick purge it, okay, you purge it, there's no problem. But then the next room you do the same thing. It's like, oh, you've accidentally triggered the defensive mechanism, now there's enemies. So it just feels completely random and not really satisfying. Whereas there's that kind of doesn't happen in XCOM. You know the outcome of what you're getting, and yes, there's a chance of maybe an ambush. There's maybe a chance of like the reward getting less or the reward getting more or whatever. But you at least know what the reward is at the end, whereas here it's completely random, and it doesn't really vibe with me. So yeah, third time I'm attempting is just not getting to. So I'm playing Panzer Corps 2, which I'm understanding the fundamentals of now. So doing pretty well. I think I've just I don't want to say conquered Stalingrad, but that's basically what's happened. So yeah, there's a historical element to this campaign. And it's going. So yeah. So coming up this week, we've got quiz night tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure if we're playing Baldur's Gate 3 on Thursday, because I think my brother's not free. Last I heard, I have to check. Friday, going to do Warhammer. Saturday, I'm going to see Richards. We're going to play some Warhammer. And then chill day on Sunday, where we're going to do some D&D, and then go out on Sunday evening to a place called Sticky Fingers, which is like a bar wing place, if I recall correctly. I think there's some kind of quiz going on there. Andrew invited us out, so we're going to be doing that. And that's basically what's going to be happening this coming week. So yeah. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I will speak to you all next week. Yeah, have a good one. Hope everything's going good for you guys.